With an estimated 6 million CCTV cameras in the UK, we're the most watched nation on Earth. Operating 24/7, these cameras are catching more and more criminals in the act. Burglars, vandals, and antisocial thugs. All of them caught on camera.
I'm Nick Wallace, and tonight I'll be looking at how CCTV is watching over our neighbourhoods.
There are 25 million homes in the UK, from family houses to luxury apartments, traditional terraces and high-rise estates. Each and every one of our homes is a potential target for criminals. They want to get in, to steal, destroy, or cause mayhem. No neighbourhood is immune. Midnight in Derbyshire. As disabled pensioner Margaret Woodward sleeps in front of the TV, a sneaky thief helps himself to her valuables. Having already lost £900 in 4 separate break-ins, police installed CCTV in Margaret's home. But she never expected to wake up in the same room as the brazen burglar. Calm as you like, Margaret grabs her walking stick and chases the man out of the back door, threatening to break his kneecaps. She didn't catch him, but thanks to the CCTV footage, the 51-year-old was identified and arrested. This footage from Hornchurch, East London, shows a man doing a bit of late-night landscaping, otherwise known as criminal damage. He's still wanted by police. But vandals don't come much worse or costly than this idiot from Tameside, Greater Manchester, keying car after car, causing tens of thousands of pounds worth of damage. He's still at large.
Home CCTV is becoming more popular, but local authorities responsible for thousands of homes are also getting in on the act, installing cameras to keep an eye on their properties and residents.
Wolverhampton in the West Midlands. A quarter of the population here live in council housing, and the responsibility for looking after these 23,000 properties falls to Wolverhampton Homes, a company working on behalf of the local authority. Earlier this year, they opened a £1 million CCTV control room, supervised by manager Ian Rawlinson.
When we had the control room open, a lot of our tenants were balloted on it anyway to see what sort of level of service they required, and the majority have gone for, you know, the 24-hour CCTV coverage because it's better for their security.
Concierge CCTV operators Dino, Cameron and Manny are responsible for 300 cameras, watching over the estates 24 hours a day. Whatever happens on the doorstep of their residence, this team are likely to see it. This footage shows a disabled resident on a mobility scooter being violently mugged for his gold chain by a hooded coward. From vandalism to noise complaints, the control room deals with it all.
Loud music. Yeah, sure. I will give them a call and ask them to turn it down. If he persists, give us a call back.
And when it comes to antisocial behaviour, some people are never too old. This elderly resident wanted to watch the football in the communal lounge. He'd already been told the area was locked, and when he found this to be true, he decided to take his anger out on the door. He later received a warning letter advising against any further antisocial temper tantrums. "11:30 at night. The pubs are closing, and those who've been out for a drink are now heading back to their flats. This drunken tenant can't wait to get home. Literally.
Why? You know, it just doesn't make any sense at all. Now, that particular guy, if you notice where he comes out the lift, his flat is about 3 or 4 doors away from the top of the lift.
But his bladdered antics hadn't escaped the attention of CCTV operators who tracked him back to his flat. Ian, who was nearby, decided to pay him a visit.
He answered the door. First question was, why have you been urinating in the lift? And his answer to that was, well, I've had a drink, you know. When I asked him to go and mop, he decided he hadn't got a mop. So I said, well, whatever you've got, towels, cloths, newspaper, I don't care, but you are going to mop that mess up.
A breach of the rules like this could result in the man losing his flat, but he's got different priorities.
He was very concerned about his new trainers getting covered with urine. You can imagine trying to mop up urine with newspaper, which was quite entertaining from somebody who'd not had a drink's point of view. It was going everywhere. But he moved it. He was now covered in basically his own urine because it was dripping everywhere. At this point, he thought he'd done a really good job.
Despite cleaning up his mess, the man was reported to the estate manager and was issued a formal warning. When it comes to catching criminals in the act, council's CCTV is on the front line.
Even with 6 million cameras covering our towns and neighbourhoods, some criminals manage to slip through the net. But when they do, there's still one camera powerful enough to capture their every move.
Right, well, they're lifting in a minute. All right, Sergeant, I'll let them know. Cheers, bye.
The Met Air Support Unit flies 3,300 hours a year. Their Eurocopter EC-145, otherwise known as India 99, carries a camera capable of zooming in on a target over 2 miles away, making it one of the most powerful surveillance cameras in the UK. At their base on the outskirts of London, the crew of India 99 are preparing for a busy shift. Once airborne, every second counts. Each hour of flight costs over £850.
Hello, this is the police.
It's 9 p.m. A 999 call has been received about a suspected burglar on the roof of a block of flats.
We've just had another couple of calls in.
Report says they've just seen a male with his face covered trying to climb up a balcony.
In Met Command and Control, Christine Mansfield is monitoring the job and dispatching the necessary units.
Skipper's on way, please, from the governor, do not go up onto the roof.
Details are sketchy.
Do we know which building that group's supposed to be on?
Hang on, mate, I'll find it.
There is a derelict building here as well. We can't see anyone on that roof. So India 99, it's a Europe car and opposite the estate. We'll just get out on foot and have a little walk around.
India 99 are scanning the area when suddenly their cameras are blinded.
Victor Kilo, India 99. I wonder if we could have assistance of one of your local units, please. We're getting persistently lasered from... There's probably about 6 people in that garden, and one of them lasing the aircraft constantly.
If the pilot is temporarily blinded, it could be fatal for the entire crew and anyone below them.
Air support unit are now calling it in to say that someone is shining a laser pen. So we're going to send units to the address. The air support unit can actually see the address they're in.
By simply pointing the camera at the garden, India 99's onboard navigation system can tell the crew the exact address.
And the air support unit that are out looking have been detoured from the people on the roof because they were being lasered by occupants in a different place.
just need some knowledge on it.
Yes, the offence is endangering an aircraft.
Endangering an aircraft could get you put away for 4 years, and the officer in charge on the ground wants these laser louts locked up.
I believe we've got a unit making their way now.
I need more than one unit going. Get another unit. I want very much a positive action taken. Over.
This party is about to get a few unexpected guests.
It doesn't seem to be a rear entrance. You've got 4 officers around the front, but no answer at the door.
Yeah, there's probably about 6 or 8 people sitting in the garden, males and females.
What are we dealing with? Unit's gone on scene. They've had to force entry.
Officers in the back garden, the chap sitting with his back to the kitchen window is the one that did it.
And 2 have been detained and will be taken into custody.
With the suspect in cuffs and the offence caught on camera, all they need now is the laser pen.
Yeah, we just had 1 male laser in the aircraft. He's the chap you're holding on to just by the back door. Just raise your arm and we'll confirm. Yes, thank you.
Cops search the crime scene.
Confirm.
And the laser pen isn't the only thing going in an evidence bag.
Yeah, that's all received, Officer 99. Kingston, we've got the pen. We've got 2 males in custody, 1 for the endangering aircraft and 1 for possession of cannabis.
They're heading to custody, and India 99 can finally move on to the burglar on the roof.
See, the commitment is people on the roof haven't been looked at because of an idiot sitting in a garden shining a laser pen.
Christine can now turn her attention to coordinating police units in the building.
We have got access to it. I'm loath to actually do anything until I get a supervisor here in case she does do something.
Yeah, that's all marked up and you've got HT2 on way over.
So, there's only 2 officers here at the moment. I'd like at least another 2 officers join me up on the 6th floor.
Got India 99 making their way. They'll call you direct when they're on scene. It shouldn't be too long over.
India 99 is now there too, and PC Bev Bonner can call the shots from the helicopter.
From 99, all units wait, please. We have the male on the roof now. It is a flat roof, I can confirm that. Your officer you're liaising with now, who's just on the balcony.
He's climbed up balconies, believe he was a burglar. Police have turned up on scene. Once he's seen police, he said that he's suicidal.
The suspected burglar's threatening to jump, and the officers must treat his threats seriously.
Can we have more units up to the 6th floor, please? Now still on the roof.
In the meantime, India 99 can provide guidance from above.
Yes. Once you get more officers, obviously if we can wake up or get the residents awake in the top flats, at least then we've got access and it cuts it off for him if he goes into any of these balconies. For the top flats would be ideal.
Yeah, that's just safe.
And marine unit is just past the that's where Paper House Cup is.
The officers are worried the man will jump into the river next to the building.
If he were to jump off into the river, he would have to have a very, very good jump because he would have to jump from the roof, which is a pitched roof, on the edge, and then over the balconies.
In the building that he's in, you've got water side and concrete side. So what we're going to do, we're going to get the marine units to assist with the air support unit and the core team units so that they can all work as one.
And he's just walking forwards and backwards as we speak. He's on the phone to someone.
With the police boat in place, it's now up to the officers on the roof to talk the man down.
If all units would like to wait for an update from 99, then we'll be able to tell you where he is on the roof.
The man moves towards a sheer drop of 140 feet. His shouting can be heard over the police radio.
Edging towards the edge at the moment. That's right. Can we just have officers away from the windows, please? They seem to be agitated at the moment.
Dangerously close to the edge, the man is becoming more and more agitated by the officers below and by India 99.
Yeah, having the spotlight on him seems to be making him more agitated. I don't know if you can kill that, please.
Okay, if you want us to switch it off, we will. Just a thought, would it be better if you just moved away so he can't engage with the two of you and he's not then on the edge of that courtyard?
Stand by, I'll go and get him to move.
The officers back off, but the man steps even closer to the edge. It's worked. With the officers out of sight, the man's backed away from the ledge.
I see he's moving, hopefully, to the other side of the roof.
He's on the northwest corner now. He's still on the edge talking to officers, but at least now if he does slip, etc., he'll be slipping only a few foot onto the balcony area.
After a tense standoff, the man finally climbs down to the officers waiting below.
He has been detained for burglary. He could have just been buying some time and then believed that he would have been coming off the roof, going off with an ambulance, rather than going into custody, but he's gone into custody.
Police helicopters and their state-of-the-art surveillance cameras are the best way to catch intruders, but they can't be everywhere. Nowadays, worried homeowners are installing their own cameras as a way to deter hooded housebreakers.
Retired Medical Secretary Jane Green has always known her neighbourhood in Clifton, Nottingham, is far from perfect.
I've lived here 12 years and I've always been nervous because it's completely different to the area that I was brought up in.
Jane's fears were raised when burglars tried to enter her house on 2 separate occasions.
The main crime in this area is theft and burglary to feed drug habits.
She immediately had a CCTV system installed covering her entire property, but soon found she couldn't take her eyes off it.
It keeps coming up with a green M because there's movement. The slightest noise, I'm looking at the CCTV monitor to see if it's anything to do with me.
It was 2:30 a.m. in October when Jane woke up to a sound in her garden.
I was asleep in bed and my dog sleeps in the bed with me, and it was the dog that woke me up barking. And when I woke up I could hear shouting and banging, so I came downstairs and I could see the shape through the frosted glass.
Outside, a man had climbed onto her garage. He appeared to be off his head on drugs, and even worse, he was trying to break in.
I was terrified, absolutely petrified.
Police were soon on the scene, but worried they wouldn't be able to get to her, Jane stepped out of her house to unlock her front gate.
And the police were just shouting, "Get inside quick."
Back inside, Jane watched what was about to unfold on her CCTV system. Brandishing a pair of garden shears and as high as a kite, the man shows no fear as he confronts the cops. Jane watched in horror as the drug-crazed criminal climbed onto her car and began hitting it with the shears. He was becoming more and more aggressive, and the officers weren't taking any chances.
I was standing there and I can remember feeling really angry. It was, you know, a fairly newish car, and at one point I felt like opening the window and shouting and swearing at him and saying, "Get off my car," because I could just see the damage he was doing.
The cops send in a dog to get the man's attention. The man takes a swing at the dog, while an officer armed with a taser approaches cautiously from the other side. He takes careful aim, and it's game over.
It still took 7 or 8 of them to control him, on the floor, even though he'd been tasered, because he was so wild, and they had to hold him down for quite a long time before they could restrain him.
The 28-year-old drug-crazed criminal was arrested and charged with criminal damage. But for Jane, it was the psychological damage that had the lasting impact.
Still, I get flashbacks of it.
Jane received no compensation for the damage to her car and had to pay £920 to have it repaired. The sneaky lowlife appeared at Derby Crown Court and was jailed for 4 years and 8 months. And the deranged thug was given a 22-month custodial sentence, as well as 18 months for breaching a previous sentence for theft and burglary. The man who blinded India 9-9 with a laser pen pleaded guilty to endangering an aircraft and was fined just over £400.